Hey everybody, my name is Patrick. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, and along with being a worship pastor at a church, I run my own tech company. And on this channel, I love to talk about gear and review gear and essentially just share my life with you. And one thing that is massively a part of my life is Apple products. I am in the Apple ecosystem, baby. As a matter of fact, I used to work at Apple. I worked at Apple a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I was there in the Soho store in New York when the first iPhone was announced, released, and sold. It was crazy. They actually gave an iPhone to every employee, which was pretty cool, I gotta say. So I have seen every iteration of iOS. Now, what is iOS? iOS is the operating system that runs the iPad and the iPhone. And what was talked about in Apple's most recent event was iOS 15, along with some other things. But we're talking about iOS 15 today, the new operating system that you'll find on the iPhone, as well as iPad OS 15 that you'll find on the iPad. And I'm just gonna talk with you about not every feature, but just some of my favorite features. You see, I've had the opportunity to download iOS 15 to my iPhone, begin messing with it, and I've read a bunch of stuff about what other people are saying, and these things that I'm about to share with you are just some of my favorite features. So let's get into it. Now, before we get into some of my favorite iOS 15 features, you might be watching this on a phone or a tablet or something that cannot use iOS 15. So straight from the horse's mouth, Apple has given us a list of products that iOS 15 can be loaded on. Essentially, if you have an iPod Touch, the 7th generation, all the way up to the new iPhone 13, you're good. But anything before that, you're gonna have a bad time. You can't use iOS 15. So let's get into our first feature today. You can now drag and drop items between different applications. So I'm looking at a website right now, and if I simply press and hold my finger over an item like a photo or a link, it gives me all sorts of different selections that I can perform with that item. And now, if I actually press and hold and then just quickly begin to drag my finger, you'll see it looks like this photo's coming with me. I swipe up, I go to a different app, and I simply let go, let's say over messages here, let go of my finger over this message, and that photo has been copied into this message, which happens to be my garage, where I text them my car number every time I need to get my car from the garage. Baller. Now, truthfully, I can see a lot of people struggling with this feature in its infancy. Quickly touching and dragging, I find explaining that to a bunch of people as a tech support person over the phone just being a nightmare. But I see it becoming a regular feature that everybody's gonna use all the time. I'm super excited about it. Now, the next thing I want to show you is FaceTime because it has been given quite an upgrade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up FaceTime, and you'll see that there's all sorts of selections here. I see my list of recent calls or video calls. I see the new FaceTime button, which I can touch here and select a person or a group of people, which I really, really like. I also see Create Link. You can now create a link to a FaceTime where someone on an iPhone, an iPad, a Mac, an Android, or a PC can join you in. So yes, FaceTime is now cross-platform. Anybody, Mac, PC, iOS, Android can join a FaceTime call. Now I see this kind of muddying the waters a little bit, where if everybody's already using Zoom, or if everybody's already using like Google Duo or Teams or whatever, you coming in with your, we can all use FaceTime now, might be a little bit of like a, hey, slow your roll there, bro. But I do see this being very helpful when you have 10 friends who want to chat, but 9 of the 10 of them are using iOS devices, and they all are used to FaceTime, but they have to learn a new platform so that their Android friend can join in. Poor Android friend. Now, everybody can use FaceTime. I see this being huge. I see this being helpful, and I see it being Apple just dipping their toe in other systems' waters, which is a good thing. Now, along with FaceTime, something called Shareplay was announced. Now, what on earth is Shareplay? Long story short, are you watching a movie together? Are you wanting to share the screen of your iOS device? Well, yes, you can do that now straight through Shareplay. But I shouldn't say you can do that now, because Shareplay is one of those iOS 15 features that was announced, but even though iOS 15 is out, it hasn't quite been released. As a matter of fact, here's what Apple said. Apple said it's delayed until later this fall. And according to Mashable, Shareplay is now live in the iOS 15.1 beta. So they've already got it in the 0.1 beta of iOS 15. So I see this coming soon. but I'm excited about it. The ability to share my screen, the ability to be watching a show or watching a movie and just watching it right alongside my friend on their iPhone who's across the world somewhere. I love that idea. I can't wait to see this expanded on in future iOS iterations. Okay, let's talk about notifications. Notifications on the iPhone have been a game changer. Whether you're on a watch, an iPad, an iPhone, you get a notification about, for me, the Mets score, or something about an event, or an app you're using, a message you've received. Just picking up your device and seeing across the screen just a quick notification from that application, really, really great. But let's be honest, these notifications are cluttering up my world. So now, and I'm going to open up my iPhone and show you here, if we move to our settings, within settings, you're going to see a notifications section, and you'll see schedule summary, show previews, sharing. You see all sorts of options here. So I'm going to touch schedule summary. Now this is turned off, but I'm going to turn it on, and it's laid out for us plain and simple right here. Bundle non-urgent notifications and receive them in a summary at convenient times. Schedule delivery. Choose when you'd like your notification summary to arrive. Get what's important. It is not uncommon for me to get notifications at 4 a.m. from like Foot Locker or some app that I downloaded years ago that I've forgotten to turn off the notifications for. So now I can actually continue and decide which apps. You see here that I can check off certain things, and I'm going to uncheck these things. I'm not ready to set this up quite yet, but I can check off different apps and select what kind of notifications I want to receive from them. Let me just do a quick little test here. I'm going to go to show more, and let's see here, podcasts. Add one app. First summary at 8 a.m., second summary at 6 p.m. So long story short, I can say, hey, for my podcast app, let my first summary come in at noon. I'm going to change this over here to noon. And my second summary, 6 p.m., and I can add more summaries. Now I'm going to cancel this because I'm not ready to make that change. But now you can bundle together apps that you just want maybe one, maybe two notifications a day on. You can bundle those together and receive a notification summary. I love this feature. Now, I find this next feature to be really similar to notification summary, and that's find your focus. So once again, in my settings, I see focus here. And there's always been on the iPhone, do not disturb. Then there was a driving focus, but you can actually set up your own focuses. Like, what do you want to hear from when you're at work, when it's nighttime, when you're driving? Let me just touch here under work. Work focus. Don't miss out. Allow notifications from important people and apps while working. Turn on automatically. Share that you're away. I'm going to hit next. And I'm allowed to see notifications from only certain people while I'm at work. So depending on what focus I'm at, whether it's work, whether it's nighttime, which hopefully you're not focused at all when you're sleeping, except for on your dreams and your rest and restoration. Wherever you find yourself, work, play, the gym, in the car, you receive notifications only from certain people. So I see Find Your Focus being pretty beneficial for me, because if I'm at a tech gig, I only want to hear from my wife or my sons if there's an emergency, if there's something that they need. So you should open up the settings of your iPhone in iOS 15, go to that Find Your Focus tab, and then select what focuses are in your life and who you want to hear from during those times. Extremely beneficial. Now, there's one feature that was added in the weather app that I think kind of went under the radar a bit. So sorry. But now you can receive push notifications from the weather app if it's going to rain or snow. Basically, if inclement weather is coming, you're going to be alerted. Instead of having to find that yourself, you're going to receive an alert. And you actually don't do that in your settings. You do that in the weather app. So I'm going to open up the weather app and show you what I'm looking at. 76 degrees right now in New York City. Beautiful, beautiful day. If I touch these three little lines, you'll see the different locations that I've saved in my weather app that I can move through. But if I touch on Stay Dry, turn on notifications, I'm going to allow access to change to always allow, continue, allow. So much allowing. It is now going to see my location all the time and alert me about rain or really, really bad weather without me even having to ask for it. Now, I could turn that off at any time, but I'm going to leave it on because I might not think to check the weather app before I leave wherever I'm at. If bad weather's coming, now the weather app is going to tell me. New iOS 15 feature that isn't earth-shattering, but I love it. All right, I want to share with you another feature that just is so simple, but so helpful. If I could be honest, I've kind of stopped organizing apps on my phone. And I'll tell you why in a second. Have you ever been on a road trip with someone and you're trying to get directions somewhere and they say, oh, let me see your phone. I'll just put it in Maps. And then sure enough, they swipe, they scroll up, they scroll down, they swipe, they go in this folder, they come out of that folder and they go, where is your Maps application? And you just take the phone and pull down from the center and type in whatever app you're looking for. I kind of stopped trying to perfectly organize my phone into folders because if I scroll over far enough, it does that for me in this app library. Or if on any screen I just pull down, I can search for something using that magnifying glass, which is called Spotlight on the phone. Well, I can't show you this right now or it will turn off my screen recording, but now from the lock screen, you can search using Spotlight. So it used to be that you had to turn on your phone, use Face ID or your passcode to unlock the phone, then pull down to search for something. Well, now, especially if you're using Face ID, when you pick up your phone and the screen lights up, it sees your face and goes ahead and just unlocks the phone for you. You can just, from that lock screen, pull down and begin to search for something. Now, this saves seconds of time, right? 2-3 seconds at the most. But if you add up those seconds throughout the day, and if you're using search a lot in your phone, this is a huge time saver and it's going to save you tons of frustration. I love that feature. Right from the lock screen, pull down, you can search using Spotlight on the iPhone. Great job, Apple. This feature is amazing. And hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing about this. If this is the first time you're hearing about this feature, hopefully this is the first video you've watched reviewing iOS 15. It's Livetext. Now, a lot of times you're sitting there and you receive a tracking number, a receipt, something you need to share with someone, and typing that information out or sending a photo of that information just isn't gonna cut it. So I'm looking at this mixer in front of me and it has a ton of words on it, as you can see. And I want to send someone the model number of this specific mixer. So I just move over Livetrack L8 and you'll see that it kind of highlights Livetrack L8 and that little sheet of paper shows up in the bottom right hand corner where if I touch that, it pulls the text off of that image. I can then copy that text. I can move over to a note and paste it right in. Isn't that great? Now, let's say I'm in a note and someone has just paid for a meal. I want to pay them back and I'm going, let me just make sure I make a note of this. I open up my notes and right inside of my notes, if I touch here, you can see select all, paste. I have that Livetext feature built right into my notes here and I can move over. Let's check out this product here. Oh, yeah, effect, touch, pulls it right out, insert. Boom, there's effect right inside of the note. So this is amazing and it's long overdue. Essentially, the camera of the iPhone inside of iOS 15 can read for you. So again, you get that tracking slip, you want to send the tracking information to somebody, you hold up the tracking slip, put your camera over the tracking slip, send it to your friend. You're sitting at a meal and you want to split up the bill, but you know that you guys are having drinks, you're having fun, you don't want to remember everything right now. You just simply hover your camera over that bill. It pulls all the text from you. Nice itemized receipt on your phone to send that business, send that accounting person, or keep for your own records to make sure you pay that person back for the meal. Great feature. You'll also notice as I was copying and pasting some of those words that if I move my camera over here, let's see if it picks up on that word recorder. Yeah. Pull up here. You'll see that it also says copy, select all, look up, translate. So those two buttons side by side, look up and translate. If I'm looking at a product, if I'm looking at a brochure, and I'm going, what is this place? Hover my phone over it, the text pops out, I'm able to look that up, or I can translate it if it's in a different language, or translate it to another language for someone else that doesn't speak English or doesn't speak whatever language I'm trying to communicate in. Livetext, amazing feature, long overdue, very excited about it. Now listen, After a few days of using iOS 15, these are some of my favorite things. Have I covered everything? No way! You should go to Apple's website and check out every single feature. They're all listed there for iOS 15 and find out which one is your favorite. As a matter of fact, would you please in the comments let me know what's your favorite iOS 15 feature? What iPhone are you using? What products are you excited about that Apple just announced? I would love to hear from you. And then do all the other YouTube things. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. And if you have someone who's interested in getting an iPhone or has had an iPhone a long time and they keep bugging you about what are the new features, share this video with them. And I'll see you in the next one.